Well, today we are going to compare the 3 different plans for Ride with GPS. And maybe by the end of this video, you'll know which plan would be right for you. So stick around. Well, hello again, Internet. Welcome back to the channel. Yep, today we're going to do a comparison between the 3 plans for Ride with GPS. We're going to find out which one might be right for you guys. Now, hope everybody's happy and healthy out there on this fine morning. It's only about 75, 76 degrees here in North Carolina, very early in the morning. It's before 7:30, it's about 7:20 right now. You know, I tried to shoot this video over the weekend, and I was out on a route that I had built with my Ride with GPS, and I had some screenshots that I was going to try and follow to kind of guide me through, because they have a website or a web page that tells you the exact differences between the different plans. And at some point I'm going to put that in here so that you can take a look at that as well. But I took that screenshot and I started to try and follow that. Well, I had to bury my Ride with GPS app, and I had no idea where I was at. And I thought, what irony. I need to keep using my Ride with GPS, which means I can't do the video to tell you how good the Ride with GPS is. That's a little ironic, but I had no idea where I was at. So, all right, but let's get on with it. So what I had to do was I had to go home and kind of look over that list and try and remember it. It's been a long time since I've been in school and doing things like that. But so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go through the 3 different plans and tell you what's important to me. And then if you see something on here that I gloss over, or that when I put that screenshot up here that you feel like is important to you, well, hit me an email or hit me a comment down below, and I'll answer that to the best of my ability. Or like I've said before, I will get you in touch with somebody that can answer that question. But a little smoky out here today. Somebody's burning off some stuff somewhere. But let's start out with a free plan. That's what I started out with. And one of the most important features that you can use with a free plan is to record rides. You're going to get all your statistics there. You're going to get all of your average speed, your maximum speed, your elevations, all the statistics of the rides that you do. They're going to be right there for you. And you're also going to get statistics of total amount of rides. So that's what I actually started using this for originally, because I had the 2 different bikes. And that'll come into the next thing that you're going to have, is you can do basically a bike profile page that tells you what kind of bike you happen to be using on what ride. So you can separate them things, and you know how far I'm riding my Trek bike, how far I'm riding my ECOTRIC bike, any other bikes that I happen to ride. Okay, so that's going to be a big thing right there. Then next up is going to be, you can do ride reports and set goals. And a ride report is basically a story, and what this is going to get into is the social media aspects of your rides. You're setting goals. You know, you end up getting friends and stuff like that on here, and you can set up goals between yourselves, and that kind of keeps you a little bit motivated to go ahead and keep going on things. That's not something that I use a whole tremendous amount right now. I might end up doing that, but it can be shared in with all your Facebook, Twitter, and all them kind of things right there. So what would be the next thing? You know, you can import routes onto this from any other mapping type app. You can go ahead and import it into here as a GPX file. I think it's a TCX, and there's several of them right there that we'll kind of set in there. Garmin devices, you can sync right in with a Garmin. Now, it probably goes without saying, you can do all this recording from an iPhone or a Android phone. I happen to use the Android phone, and we've talked about the app and the different features of the app, and you know, we've went over those in another video. I like the Android phone that I'm using. I like the customization that you can do on the metrics. It's always been one of the best apps as far as I'm concerned. Next up, and this is something, and I'll tell you right now, I'm on the premium, but this is something that's available on the free version, is you can put all your rides and your routes into collections. This is really a great deal. We're going to try and pop a picture in here of one of the collections. And what you can do is you can pull up all your different rides or routes on one map and decide which ones you can do. You might try and join some of them together, make two of them into one of them, you know, and you can do all of that. You may have to, if you're on the free version, you're going to have to do that manually, but these collections are basically just breaking down your database a little better to where it's a little easier to find different things. So, you know, we've got collections for things like our road trip for June or July, whatever it was. We're putting together another one for our August road trip. What else can you do on the free version? This is the one, and this is the reason that I signed up for the basic, which I didn't really even have to. At the time, I didn't know it though, but you can create your own routes. You can go ahead and build your own routes on the free version and be able to follow them around. So that is game changer right there. That's a game changer right there. So what else do we have? You know, if they have, I think when we did the overview, we talked about the rides that other folks have put in there. You can actually pull one of them rides in and you can navigate on one of their rides. So you can do a search in your area. You know, you can pull up the route planner and just say search this area. It'll show you all the different rides that folks have done with the Ride with GPS. Where do we want to go today? I'm not really sure. I think we're just going to stick to the road, but you can pull up somebody else's ride and ride them. Gives you some great ideas of what you're going to end up you know, can really expand your riding area. All right, next up, let's talk about the basic subscription, and that's what I ended up getting. And I'm going to tell you the first and foremost on the basic subscription, the game changer for me. Excuse me, that smokiness right now this morning. The game changer for me was the voice navigation. That just, I mean, that was a game changer for Michelle and I. So that's a part of the basic subscription. What else do we got on there that I can think of out here? You know what? Somebody had mentioned when I was talking about these apps, yeah, they're great when you got signal. Well, with a basic subscription, you can actually print out a hard copy of your map and follow it that way if you had to. And you don't necessarily have to have satellite cell signal. You could have satellites. I forget exactly how that goes, but we've had places where we've not had service that we were still recording our rides and still navigating. And so that works out pretty well there. What else do we have on that? You know, here's one for you. And this will be for a lot of e-bikers, because as e-bikers, we tend to be collectors of e-bikes. We upgrade. And you can do a maintenance log on your bikes. You can keep track of how many miles I'm putting on a particular bike. And I can do a maintenance log right there within the app. That's a really handy feature when you're riding several different bikes like I do. So that works out pretty darn well. What else can we do as a basic subscription? You know what? When I put a route in here, it's going to give me my estimated time. When I build a route, it's going to give me my estimated time of how long I got left when I'm navigating it. And that's going to be based off of the algorithms that they're using, is basing that off of your history right there. So that comes in pretty handy. That can be a big deal right there. What else do we got? This is something that I have not done a lot of, and that is what's called a privacy zone. Most of the rides I take from home, I just leave them as private. And let me tell you right now, I am still investigating into this ride with GPS myself as far as how to best utilize it. But a privacy zone is basically be a circle that it doesn't show people. If you've made rides from your house public, you can put them in different sizes, and it does not show specifically where you left from. It could be from your work, it could be from your house, it could be from, like some of the YouTubers, from your summer houses. What do we got? More tobacco trailers. Tobacco trailers. Yeah. That, you know, you can have several different places of what's called privacy zones that do not show. So you can put that out to the public without worrying about your actual privacy being not violated, but out there too much. What else do we have here for the basic? You know, here's a good one that I have shown you guys before, is I can drop points of interest right here on. I happen to be using a ride with GPS. I record all my rides now with it for the most part. Sometimes I don't. The rides at home, I don't always get them recorded, but I try to make sure that I'm recording each ride that I'm doing this. But I can drop a point of interest right here of the John Deere barn. Now let's swing this over to the John Deere barn. You know, any kind of point of interest, I can drop them right onto my rides while I am out here riding. Piece of cake, so I'll know where drinking fountains are at and things like that. I'm trying to think of what else there might be, because I want to do a good job on this. What else do we have? You know, right now I'm trying to you know, I do remember one. If you upload this to Garmin, you get advance notices on your stuff there. That's one. I knew there was something in the back of my mind scratching at me. I don't use a Garmin, I use my phone. But that, you get advance notices on the Garmin. What else do we have here on the basic subscription? You know, something I really did. With the basic subscription, you got a mobile route planner. You can plan. I can stop right here and plan a route from right here, and go ahead and navigate it. We can also, on the basic subscription, we can pull up heat maps, and what a heat map is everywhere that I have ridden, it will show that in there. We'll maybe pop a little pick and pick here of a heat map. That works out pretty well, not to let you know where you've rode, but to let you know where you haven't rode yet. So, you know, I think, I'm trying to think of anything else that might be on the basic, and that's covering the highlights of it. But like I say, this we're gonna have that sheet in here, and if there's something that you see that, hey, that looks like that might be interesting to me, you hit me with it. But let's talk about the premium, and I will tell you what I consider to be the real game changers on the premium version of this. And I can tell you, first and foremost, it's the way that you use the desktop. That's what Michelle and I typically use as our computer, you know, the website, to do these things. And you can put in points of interest on the website. That is a game changer. Another thing that you can do is you can put custom cues in. That's another game changer, and I'll tell you why. Well, you've seen when we were building the route, you know, we could bypass that area. Some custom cues, we are using them more and more and more to let us know, hey, this is what's going on in this area here. It makes our routes a lot, not easier to navigate, but a lot more interesting. We don't miss some things. We had talked about, there was one time way back that we missed it. There was a rock quarry somewhere that we could have popped that right in there, and we would have if we was on the premium at that point. And then we would have called that out with a custom cue. It would give you voice navigation of this is straight ahead, something along those lines. So that is just, to Michelle and I, that's game changers. What else do we have? We've got global heat maps and personal heat maps available on the website. Again, we can find out where we've ridden, or more importantly to Michelle and I, where we haven't ridden, because you know we're always trying to ride someplace new. I tell you, here's another big one, is we can have advanced route splitting. We can take a long ride, split it into several different rides, and right along with that, we can join two rides into a single ride, and it's very easy to do on the premium version. Otherwise, you would have to do that manually and just basically build a new route. So that's a big one that Michelle and I use quite a bit, especially when you get into when you get into things like the collections, and you pull up all these different rides and you say, man, this ride come close to this ride, let's join these two together. You know, that comes in super, super handy for something along those lines. What else do we have? You can archive rides, so that basically you're not having to throw everything onto your Garmin. You know, because after a while you get a lot of rides going. Because you have a lot of rides going, you can have group route. You know, I can manage a ton of routes all at one time. Where do we want to go? You know, let's head up this way here. I can manage multiple routes all at one time. I can move them into collections and do a lot of different things with a lot of, you know, with several routes at one time. And when you have a lot of routes, that comes in handy. That comes in handy. What else do we have? You know, the queues, you can go ahead and run down through them and check all of them out all at one time. You know, you can just recheck all of them on the premium, make sure that they're all good. So, well, we had that familiar beep 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 there, and so we're just going to pick this up here. I just kind of kept riding, but you know, I know there were some features that I have missed while I was going over this. If you have any questions about any of it, well, you know, shoot me an email. My email is in the description, or you can, you know, put your question down in the comments, and we'll do everything we can to get it answered. If I cannot answer it, I will point you in the right direction to somebody that can answer it for you. So now it's up to you to decide which one of these plans are going to be right for you. I'm convinced there's a right one for just about everybody out there. And you know what? I'm going to mention one more feature, and that's going to be any one of these plans. You can get a one-on-one webinar with an expert from Ride with GPS, and they will walk you through how to use this, how to do the more advanced things with it. Does it hold value? You betcha it does, because I had spent a year, you guys know, looking for the proper app to basically build a custom route planner to where, you know, we'll get into that on another video. It's been right here, and yeah, Dylan with Ride with GPS, he showed me exactly how to do that. And so that is the top feature on all the plans. But hey, you got to decide which one is going to be best for you. And you know, if you like this content, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We really appreciate it, and that keeps us out here rolling. So I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm just about to head back in, and until the next time, Internet, this is Southern E-Biking, and telling you, stay safe, God bless, and keep the wheels turning. Once again, we are out.